We've done it, Stephen. Today is the last day of the Ad Badger version 2 launch. Been an amazing week. You could still get in on some of the perks, bonuses, and all the good stuff that we have going on to celebrate version 2, because those things go away at midnight.
You know what this launch reminds me of, Michael?
Tell me.
The SpaceX Falcon 9 launch, historic launch. I think it was called the Falcon 9, right? Historic launch to outer space.
Yes, we are going there. We are going to go into parts of the PPC universe that other people have never ventured into. And thank you for joining us. So thanks so much for listening. Thanks for so much being a part of this launch. We will go back to your regularly scheduled programming next week. So thanks so much for joining us this week. I wanted to jump into 3 common questions. And the first question is sort of like, who should be signing up and who should be using an Amazon PPC tool? What do you think, Stephen?
So, why should you use software, or when, better question, should you start using software? Yeah, I mean, the point of software is that, why do we use, Microsoft Word instead of a pen and paper? Like, because it's faster, because it's easier, because it's transportable. I mean, it's just like, why do we use technology? You use technology at all because you can get more done with less time. You can put things on, automation. So the question of whether or not it's time for you to fork out the money, I would say, as soon as you're spending, at least an hour a week, in your campaigns, or you have at least, 3 SKUs that are requiring automation, or you have at least 10 campaigns, because I guess depending on how big your SKUs are, once you have at least 10 campaigns, point is, if you're spending a couple hours a week managing your ads, you could probably cut that time out with some kind of automation rather than trying to manually adjust your bids, or manually add negative keywords, things like that.
I have this super quick anecdote. I was at a conference one time, and it was a business coach, and he was instructing people to do like lead generation, like go out and find your ideal clients. And it was like mostly a room that worked with local businesses, like bakeries and, just barbershops and like whatever, all local businesses. So that was mostly the marketers in the room serve those kinds of customers. And the coach was like, you go out there and qualify who you're talking with. And the way to qualify these leads that you're going to be talking to, qualify that bakery that you're going to be talking to, when you get them on the phone to find out if they're like a highly efficient, well-run company, ask them if they have a cleaning crew to clean their bathrooms. Because if they say that they do it themselves, they're not going to be a great client, because they don't know how to manage their time, because like that's not how the bakery makes money. They shouldn't be spending time cleaning bathrooms. Not because it's not important. I grew up, my family cleaned bathrooms. I also cleaned the bathrooms with them in an office cleaning business. But the point is, there are high level things that people should be doing inside their Amazon PPC business, Amazon business. So that means if you're like going in there, downloading a bulk file, downloading a spreadsheet and looking at search terms and then seeing what you don't want and adding them, stuff like that, optimizing bids like slowly inside an individual ad group, there are faster, smarter ways to do this. So as soon as you start taking your PPC campaigns seriously, it might be time for technology.
Yeah. Specialization of work, right? Allow you to work harder on what you know best, which is growing your brand, things like that, and basically putting the math-oriented stuff, the stuff that's really just, can be algorithmically based because it's just numbers, on automation rather than you crunching the numbers and making the changes every time. So in terms of, who should be using this, anyone that's spending at least $1,000 a month on ads probably can put a lot of it on an animation. And then if you are a freelancer or an agency with multiple client accounts, that's just a no-brainer. Save yourself a lot of time by and have a lot more confidence in your own self to be able to manage these accounts by putting them all on automation, so that you don't have to, be stressed out at night about, what happens if, I missed something on one of my accounts. You've got the Badger watching your back.
Yes, let it do the heavy lifting for you. The next common question we get if you go to adbadger.com right now during launch week, you could see sort of the things that we have. You could see the product tour. You could see everything that we currently have. But we mentioned earlier in this week that one of the biggest features of AdBadger version 2 this week is that it's going to make future features roll out easier, faster, and more efficiently. So we've got a couple things. We're not going to go into super detail on all of these, but the first thing, of these 5 or 6 things that we're going to mention, they're just going to be coming soon. So I'm super stoked about the future, the coming weeks and months about AdBadger, because we've got customizable algorithms. This is definitely a requested feature from power users where they want to go in and fine tune down to the I want to create a specific automation for that specific keyword when it does these specific things. Like that fine tuning, that customizable algorithms, that is going to be coming soon. So you can create your own bid optimization algorithm, get it exactly the way that you like it. And I know that's going to be exciting for so many people that have unique selling situations. Couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah, and we also have the Rpsb Automator coming up. So as you guys should hopefully know by now what Rpsb is. If you don't, because you're new to the podcast, just Google AdBadger Rpsb. You will find out. But we will be having we currently have a quick attack version of that tool, meaning you can jump in, apply some filters and parameters and do it. And you can come back in once a week and just keep doing that once a week, that task, and saving yourself lots of time there. But now you can put that on full automation and it will take care of the Rpsb process for you.
Right. The whole moving a search term that converts from an auto into a manual exact, or however you'd like it, because it will be customizable. Third coolest thing is being able to create everything inside the navigator. Part of the vision for AdBadger is to be able to not have to log into Amazon to actually manage your campaigns. So part of that, we want you to be able to create everything inside AdBadger. So create new campaigns, portfolios, keywords, negatives, so on and so forth, right inside of our navigator. Because what's so cool about it is our navigator is actually faster than the Seller Central or Amazon advertising platform. We're able to fine tune exactly that part of our tool, optimize it for speed. So I'm super stoked about that. So I cannot wait for that feature either.
And one other feature that I'm particularly excited about is the placement bid settings automator. So we've talked a lot about placement bid optimization, or I guess bid placement. Adjust bids by placement optimization.
Yes.
And that's a big thing we've talked about. It's only become a hotter topic since we've talked about it. We've had more and more people writing in, asking about certain episodes. Hey, what I would do in this scenario and that scenario, etc. And a lot of people who sign up as a result of listening to the podcast, a lot of the first questions that they ask is like, hey, do you automate my bid adjustments based on placement? And that is something that we will be including shortly as well. So again, extremely exciting. I don't think there's any other tool out there that has, there are tools that automate bids, but I don't think anyone automates placement settings, because that's a pretty massive thing
not the way that we're going to do it.
To adjust both your placement settings and your keyword bids, and have the algorithm know what the placement settings are doing, what the bids are doing, and what the data is doing, and be able to manage all of that. That'll be pretty massive.
Yes, list it, tell you what it's doing, tell you what it's thinking. The last cool feature coming soon is actually not a feature, it's a support type thing. Basically, all of the wordsmiths out there, the authors who are advertising through Amazon advertising, there's a couple things that we need to do, that we need to talk to Amazon, like the handshake that happens between our platform and Amazon is coming soon. So we want author support. And we will also want to get in merch support too. So authors will be coming first. So we are very excited about being able to support that, because there's lots of authors that listen to the show. So shout out to all the book creators out there. We hear you. We want it. We probably get several authors a week being like, please, oh, please, we hear you. We want to serve you. So we are here. We are an Amazon advertising tool. We're not like an FBA tool. We are an Amazon advertising tool, and we want to be able to be the best Amazon advertising tool. Speaking of other tools, it's a crowded space, Stephen. It's a crowded space. There's lots of PPC tools out there.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably, I mean, yeah, it's no secret, but we're not the only PPC tool out there. There's probably, I don't know, 50 other Amazon PPC tools.
Yeah.
I mean, by saying 50, that means we're including everything, including the projects that are already, I think, out of existence. But I guess, Mike, that raises a question in my mind. So for listeners who are thinking, you know, of all these tools, which one should I use? You know, not necessarily saying why AdBadger is, you know, better than anyone else or why someone else isn't good. Like we don't need to be negative about anything, but why would they choose AdBadger? I guess just like what makes us different, to say the least.
You know, part of the vision for AdBadger has always been to create a system that allows you to do the best practices the best way for your company. So we don't force anyone to do anything a certain AdBadger way, like you must do it this particular way, because there's so many situations where you might want to customize something. So we are building a platform that is getting as close to like the true benefit of like the technology doing the heavy lifting for you. Have your strategy, and we of course we have recommended strategies to execute on your campaigns. We do have a AdBadger way, but our software is being built in a way that's allowing you to do it however you want. Because I talk to other, you know, Amazon PPCers, people that are managing campaigns day in, day out, and there's a surprising number of them that don't use any tools. Like some of the best people that I know don't use any tools, because I'll talk to them and they'll say, you know, this one was good at doing that and this one was good at doing that, but I wanted it to do this. Like there's a lot of high level people that just don't use a PPC tool, because I feel like there's a disconnect between when people seek out to build a tool and what the actual best practice is to execute inside the campaigns. So we wanted something that allows people to execute the way that they need to for their specific products and their specific situations. And we are so close. Like we are a Amazon advertising company that has a software. We're not specifically an Amazon advertising software company. Does that make sense? Like we want to get so close to the strategies first. It's why we manage campaigns manually, so that we can feel the pain, like we can understand what it's like to manage campaigns and like work with clients. And then we turn around and we bake that into our tool. It's not as if we're just like, what feature will make, you know, AdBadger the most money. It's like, we're managing campaigns. Like Steven, you manage a lot of campaigns. We like talk together, like what can we do, like what are you doing manually, let's bake that in. And like we manage a lot of different clients, we see all these different situations, and we're like, let's build things that are able to support Amazon advertisers in a way that's extensible, that can do it's like a Swiss Army knife for Amazon PPC. So that's what we're getting at. So we're trying to get really close to the strategy techniques, more intimate than anyone else can get. And we sort of do it week in by week out, and we talk for hours about strategy, pushing it forward. So we're dedicated to this. Yeah.
All of the features in our tool are developed by PPC managers themselves. So it's created by account managers for account managers. And yes, that's what's really cool about it.
That's right. So if you've made it here, thank you so much. You've made it through 5 days of launch for AdBadger. Version 2 is just the beginning, because I know that the next few months and years for AdBadger are going to be just absolutely magical. We've built it in such a way that we won't need to have this big major release again. It's all going to be about consistent upgrades to our system periodically over time. So I'm super stoked. We'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. Be sure to go to adbadger.com this week so that you can get all of our launch perks and launch specials. Steven, it's been a long week. It's been a long time coming, this version 2. Have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you next time.